Have you ever wondered why some women seem to have an almost mystical ability to recognize when a man is truly in love, while others remain blind to the most obvious signs? The answer isn't in luck or feminine intuition. It lies in a deep understanding of the masculine psyche. Carl Jung, the revolutionary Swiss psychoanalyst, dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the human unconscious. And one of his most fascinating discoveries was that true love doesn't manifest only through words or obvious gestures. It emerges from the deepest layers of the psyche, revealing itself through signs that most people simply cannot decode. Today, you're going to discover the 7 hidden signs that reveal when a man is truly in love with you. Signs based on Jung's analytical psychology that go beyond the surface and dive into the depths of the masculine soul. Prepare yourself for a journey that may forever change how you view relationships.
The anima mirror, when he projects his feminine soul onto you. Jung discovered something extraordinary about the masculine psyche. Every man carries within himself an unconscious feminine image called the anima. This is his inner feminine soul, formed by all the experiences he's had with women throughout his life, his mother, sisters, first loves, and even feminine archetypes that inhabit his collective unconscious. When a man is in love, something magical happens. He begins to project his anima onto you. But how do you recognize this profound psychological phenomenon? Notice if he started attributing qualities to you that seem almost idealized. He talks about you as if you were the personification of virtues he didn't even know he valued. You have a different kind of wisdom. There's something special about the way you see the world. You make me feel complete in a way I can't explain. These aren't just pretty words, they're direct revelations from his unconscious. When the anima is projected, the man literally sees in you aspects of his own soul that he cannot access alone. You become the mirror where he contemplates his psychic totality. But there's an even more revealing sign. He begins to seek your opinion on matters he would never share with other people. Important decisions, personal dilemmas, dreams and aspirations. He brings all of this to you because unconsciously you've become the voice of his inner wisdom. This is one of the most powerful signs of deep love because it means you're not just an object of desire. You've become an integral part of his individuation process, the Jungian path to psychological completeness.
The dance of personas, when his social masks crumble. Jung taught us that we all wear personas, psychological masks we present to the world to protect ourselves and adopt socially. The modern man is especially skilled at maintaining these masks, alternating between the competent professional, the relaxed friend, the responsible son, depending on the context. But when a man is truly in love, something extraordinary happens. His personas begin to dissolve in your presence. You'll notice he acts differently with you than with other people. I'm not just talking about being more affectionate. I'm talking about a fundamental change in the energy he projects. That always controlled executive suddenly laughs genuinely and carefreely. The man who always maintains composure allows you to see his confusion, his doubts, his moments of vulnerability. This is a deeply revealing sign because for Jung, the ability to lower the defenses of the persona indicates a level of trust that goes beyond the rational. It's as if unconsciously he recognized in you a sacred space where he can exist without masks. Also, observe moments of behavioral inconsistency. He may be known for his practicality, but with you, he allows himself to be romantic. He may be famous for his seriousness, but in your presence, he becomes playful. These aren't contradictions, they're revelations of authentic aspects of his personality that he only feels safe expressing when he's in love. A particularly powerful indicator is when he shares stories from his childhood or formative moments of his life. This means you've gained access to the deepest layers of his psyche, where reside the experiences that shaped who he really is, behind all the personas. The ritual of focused attention, when you become his object of contemplation. In Jungian psychology, attention isn't just a conscious act, it's a psychic function that reveals where our vital energy is being directed. When a man is in love, his attention undergoes a qualitative transformation that can be observed by those who know what to look for. The first sign is the meditative quality of his attention. He doesn't just look at you, he contemplates you. There's a subtle but profound difference between these two acts. To contemplate is a state of conscious absorption, where the observer momentarily loses himself in the observed object. You can perceive this in moments when he seems to be studying you, as if trying to memorize every detail. Jung spoke about the transcendent function, the psyche's ability to create bridges between the conscious and unconscious. When a man is in love, you become the catalyst for this function. He begins to notice details about you that you don't even perceive yourself. The way you gesture when you're excited, the specific tone of your voice when you're thoughtful, the micro-expressions that cross your face. But there's something even more revealing. His attention becomes selective in an almost obsessive way. In a room full of people, his eyes naturally seek you out. During group conversations, he monitors your reactions even when he's talking to others. This isn't possessiveness. It's the unconscious directing psychic energy toward what it considers most important. Also, observe how he remembers seemingly insignificant details from your conversations. Casual comments you made weeks ago suddenly reappear in gifts, suggestions, or references. This happens because when we're in love, our unconscious mind continues processing and integrating information about the beloved person, even when we're not consciously thinking about her.
The synchronicity of encounters, when the universe conspires in favor. Jung revolutionized our understanding of reality by introducing the concept of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that cannot be explained by common causality. And when it comes to love, synchronicity manifests almost magically through the behavior of a man in love. A truly enamored man begins to create synchronicities, not consciously, but through an unconscious alignment with your rhythms and life patterns. Suddenly, he appears in the same places you frequent, not by chance, but because his unconscious has begun to map your existence. He casually decides to have coffee at the same cafe you frequent. He chooses paths that increase the chances of encountering you. He develops sudden interest in activities you practice. To the external observer, they seem like coincidences. For Jung, they're manifestations of an unconscious that has reorganized its priorities around a new reality, you. But synchronicity goes beyond physical encounters. He begins to mention books you were reading, movies you wanted to watch, places you dreamed of knowing, without you having specifically talked about these things. It's as if there were a telepathic communication between enamored unconsciouses. The deepest sign is when he develops an almost intuitive ability to appear in moments when you need it most. I'm not talking about obvious emergencies, but those subtle moments of emotional vulnerability where his presence becomes an unexpected balm. This happens because true love creates a psychic resonance that transcends verbal communication. Jung would say that these synchronicities are evidence that two psyches have begun to dance in harmony, creating a shared energetic field where coincidences become the natural language of love. If you're recognizing these signs in someone special, leave a comment telling us which one surprised you most. And if this content is revealing aspects of masculine behavior you'd never noticed before, subscribe to the channel to discover more secrets of relationship psychology that can transform your love life forever.
The awakening of the protective animus, when primitive instincts emerge. Jung identified that within the masculine psyche exists a deep archetypal impulse, the protective animus. This isn't the toxic machismo of modern society, but rather a primordial caring instinct that emerges from the oldest layers of the collective unconscious. When a man is truly in love, this aspect of his psyche awakens in a subtle but unmistakable way. The first sign is how he begins to map your safety environment. He pays attention to details that previously went unnoticed, whether you arrived home safely, if you're eating adequately, if something is worrying you. But this doesn't manifest as control or possessiveness. It emerges as an expanded awareness of your well-being. Observe how he reacts when you mention situations of discomfort or stress. A man in love doesn't just listen, he internally mobilizes. He may not offer immediate solutions, especially if he understands you just need to be heard, but you'll perceive a subtle change in his energy, as if something within him had been activated. Jung spoke about autonomous complexes, parts of the psyche that operate independently of consciousness. When the protective animus awakens, it becomes one of these complexes. The man may not consciously perceive it, but he begins to take small actions that create a safety net around you. He may start walking on the side of the street closest to traffic, hold your hands more firmly in crowds, or position himself physically so he can observe the environment when you're together. These are behaviors that emerge from the unconscious, not from a rational decision. But perhaps the most revealing sign is how he reacts when other men show interest in you. A truly enamored man doesn't become aggressive or possessive, he becomes more present. His energy changes, not to ward off the competition, but to affirm, in a subtle and respectful way, his special connection with you.
The language of the unconscious, when the body speaks louder than words. Jung always emphasized that the unconscious communicates through symbols, and the body is its primary vehicle of expression. When a man is in love, his body develops its own language that reveals truths his conscious mind may still be processing. The first sign is in the quality of his physical presence. There is a palpable, energetic difference between being close to someone and being truly present with someone. When a man is in love, his body literally tunes in to yours. You may be sitting in silence, but there's a subtle respiratory harmony, an unconscious synchronization of movements. Observe his gestures when he talks about you or with you. His hands become more expressive, movements more fluid. Jung would say this happens because love releases repressed creative energy, and this energy needs to find physical expression. It's as if his body becomes more alive in your presence. But there are even deeper signs. Pay attention to how he positions himself physically in relation to you. A man in love unconsciously creates what Jung would call a sacred space, an energetic bubble where you both exist. He may not notice, but his body naturally orients towards you, even when you're not directly conversing. Eye contact also undergoes a qualitative transformation. It's not just looking, it's a form of silent communion. Jung spoke about eyes as windows to the soul, and when a man is in love, his eyes literally change. There's a softness, a vulnerability that only appears when he looks at you. One of the most revealing signs is how he physically reacts to your touch. I'm not talking about sexual arousal, but a more subtle response, a kind of melting of bodily tension, as if your touch had the power to dissolve the armor he carries in the world.
The integration of shadows, when he reveals his fears and insecurities. This is perhaps the deepest and most transformative sign of all. Jung dedicated much of his work to the concept of shadow, those aspects of our personality that we repress, deny, or hide from the world. For a man, revealing his shadow is the most radical act of vulnerability possible. When a man is truly in love, something extraordinary happens. He begins to integrate his shadows in your presence. This means he allows himself to be seen in his totality, not just his successes and qualities, but also his failures, fears, and deepest insecurities. Notice when he shares moments of failure or inadequacy, without trying to minimize them or transform them into lessons learned. He simply offers them as part of who he is. Sometimes I'm afraid of not being enough. There are moments when I feel completely lost. I have insecurities I don't even fully understand myself. He allows himself to be seen in his totality. Jung taught that shadow integration is essential for the individuation process, becoming a complete and authentic person. When a man does this in your presence, he's unconsciously recognizing you as a partner in his deepest self-knowledge journey. But there's an even more revealing aspect. He doesn't just reveal his shadows, he allows you to witness them without judgment. He cries in front of you. He admits when he's afraid. He confesses dreams he considers foolish or impossible. This only happens when love has created a psychological space where the mask of masculine perfection can finally rest. The most powerful sign is when he asks for your help dealing with aspects of himself he can't resolve alone. Not practical problems, but existential dilemmas, behavioral patterns that bother him, or aspects of his personality he'd like to transform. This means you've become not just the object of his love, but a partner in his psychological evolution.
These 7 hidden signs reveal a profound truth about masculine love. When a man is truly in love, his entire psychic structure reorganizes. It's not just attraction or interest, it's a fundamental transformation that happens in the deepest layers of his being. Jung taught us that true love is a process of shared individuation, where two people become catalysts for each other's psychological growth. When you recognize these signs, you're witnessing not just passion, but a man's awakening to his own completeness through love. Practical tips for applying this knowledge. Cultivate contemplative patience. Learn to observe without judging, allowing these signs to reveal themselves naturally. Create spaces of emotional safety. Be the type of person in whose presence someone can lower their defenses. Honor vulnerability. When a man reveals his shadows, receive that trust as the sacred gift it is. Trust your Jungian intuition. Your unconscious is also picking up signals your conscious mind may not immediately process. Remember, true love isn't just about finding the right person, but about creating the psychological conditions where two souls can recognize each other and grow together. These signs are invitations to a deeper dance, a journey of mutual discovery that transcends the superficial and touches the eternal. Love, as Jung taught us, is the great individuator. And when you understand its secret language, you become not just an object of passion, but an architect of transformation. If you feel ready to dive even deeper into the mysteries of the feminine psyche and discover how to develop authentic personal power in your relationships, I have something special for you. We've created a sacred space called Soul Refuge, an exclusive community where conscious women gather to explore Jung's deepest teachings applied to feminine empowerment and transformative relationships. Click the link in the description and discover how to be part of this self-knowledge journey that can revolutionize not just your relationships, but your entire existence.